I'm Starla Baker, the Executive Director for Strongwater Farm, and we are here with Miss Melissa. About 6 months or so ago, not quite, right? We talked about wintertime operations, and I know that throughout a few different episodes, we've talked about fly mask and things like that, but what we're gonna do today is we're actually gonna focus in on summertime operations. Instead of having to piecemeal across different videos, the importance of summertime safety with the horses, some additional considerations and stuff like that, and just overall summertime fun. Okay, all right, awesome. So Melissa, let's talk about, so right now we're kind of getting out of spring and we're sort of easing our way into summer. Not exactly a bright and sunny day today, but it is what it is. So let's talk about summertime operations. What are some like special considerations? What are some things that you like to do for the horses to kind of keep them more comfortable and overall just kind of happier throughout the program?
Yeah, so summer is an interesting time. I think a lot of the horses enjoy it, especially after the winter we just went through. It was quite difficult, the snow and the cold and the ice. So I think the spring was really good. I saw them start to, they were out grazing more, as you can see, like they're out in their fields, they're enjoying the sun. We saw a lot of spring naps, which is big this time of year. They take a lot of naps.
Scary, but fun.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just gonna go make sure you're okay, and they're fine. So a lot of things to consider kind of this time of year. You have things like grass, you have bugs, insects, pest control. Fiona's given her 2 cents. She loves summer.
Opinions.
Heat is a big one, obviously. Sun. There's a lot to consider, kind of an opposite realm of winter. It's all the other things to think about. So one of the more obvious ones is our grass. So we have a lot of land. We're very, very lucky to have it. And our horses love it. They have, huge pastures where they can be out and graze, and sheds and they have everything. But we have so much grass that sometimes it's too much for them to eat. So
why is that?
Because their fields are huge and they're horses. Some of them have dietary restrictions, so they can't eat grass.
So they're not supposed to eat grass. Right. So can you give us a couple of for instances?
Shelly, Tinder, Fiona, those are just to name a few. They have something called Cushing's. It's just something they get usually when they're older than 20, and it kind of slows down their body. They overproduce cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and anyways, it makes them a little bit more prone to laminitis, or they can turn metabolic if you're not watching their weight and managing them properly. And grass typically has a lot of sugar in it, and sugar is not great in your older horses. And that can lead to things like laminitis. So we have to really, really monitor them. So sometimes you'll see, like Harley was going out in the backfield to help Tex graze, kind of as a grazing buddy, but Harley also has Cushing's, so he was out in a muzzle. Other horses here, like Fiona, she's out pretty much on a dry lot, so not a lot of grass. It's pretty much just dirt. Same thing for Tinder. We try and stick them in paddocks that we know, like we're not going to put them back here or over here where the grass is super long and super, they have full access to it. So that's something that we have to think about a lot. Like I think a lot of people assume just because we have horses that we can just let them go graze and go mow that for us. But like I said, it's actually a lot of grass, and a lot of our guys can't have it. So we have this problem every year where it's like we have so much land and so much grass, but we don't have enough to eat it all.
All right, so something just clicks. So whenever you're assigning paddocks to horses and you start changing paddocks around for the horses, you start changing horses around in the paddocks. Like there are certain horses you can't put in specific paddocks, and there are certain paddocks like they can't have certain horses. So like for one of our more bare paddocks, right, like you just kind of pointed out, like we don't want a horse that can be well fed on grass in that bare paddock. God, it's clicking. It's clicking. I love it.
Well, we talked about it before, like we do let them rest. That's a big part of the paddocks. Because we're not trying to make them all dry lots. Like I do want to keep grass in the pastures that, we have horses that can eat it. So we have a couple that we let rest so that it gives the ground and the land just time to regrow. And then we're starting to graze horses out in there. So we have Tex currently in our pasture that was resting for a couple hours a day, and then Cream goes in this pasture for a couple hours a day just to help keep weight on them. They're both two that can have the grass. And there's just a lot of considerations. Who's going to go where? Some horses don't get along with each other. So there's a lot of layers to paddock management.
Thank God for this lady.
It's a lot of trial and error. Like, you think something might work. I've tried horses together. I've tried pastures, you know, horses being next to each other and certain things, and you just figure it out as you go.
Personalities. Got it.
Yeah, a lot of them.
All right. So grass being one thing as part of their diet, whether it has to be a restricted diet or it can be kind of a more abundant part of their diet. For those horses that can have a little bit more grass, like you mentioned Cream, and I know whenever we were trying to put weight on him, whenever he first arrived, we had him in the paddock over here for a little bit, kind of chewing on some grass and stuff. And I forgot where I was going to go with that question, but yeah, I don't know. We'll just go ahead and it'll come back to me. Yep. Today's not the day. It'll come back to me.
That's okay.
All right. Oh, does it impact the grain bill and the hay bill and stuff like that?
Yes.
Budget
question. We love those. Yes. So they do. The grass is really great. They love it so much that oftentimes, even the ones that don't really get pasture, you know, access to the lush pasture, they get a little bit of grass that grows through, and oftentimes we'll throw them breakfast, lunch, dinner hay, and they don't really touch it because they want to try and get the grass because it's sugar. Yummy. It's sugar, literally. Yeah, so it does impact. We do save quite a bit of money in the summer, which is great.
Yes.
Our hay bill goes down. You know, they're constantly eating, they're constantly grazing, which is what they're designed to do. So they do really well in the summer.
Okay.
As far as that goes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I had another question there, but I'll come back to it, I think, later if I remember it.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. So we've talked about the grass. We've talked a little bit about the hay. First cut versus second cut. Whenever it comes to here at Strongwater, that was the question I had. Which one do we use?
We feed first cut.
Feed first cut. Okay. And then why is that?
Less sugar.
Less sugar. Got it.
So first cut's going to be first cut of the season. I think that's usually like April, May. They grow it throughout the winter. And so typically, like, we actually could consider doing some hay stuff here. We don't have the machinery, which is why we've never really gone down that track. But you have the big open field, and usually by fall, you know, when things are starting to get colder, horses aren't grazing as much, especially when snow lands, you're letting your pastures grow. And having the plant actually grow throughout the winter lets them mature, and so they get kind of a bulkier, stemmier, more mature plant. And so when you cut it, the first cut of the season, it's not going to be as sugary or as grass because they've matured, they've grown up. The little plants, they grow up, they go to college. So the first cut is healthier for your older laminitic Cushingsy horses. Okay. Just because it has the less sugar. And then second cut's usually, like, I think this time of year, June, July, doesn't have the whole winter to mature. So it's grassier, it's leafier, much more delicious, greener. But again, it has that higher sugar content. So it's not the best option for your Cushing's laminitic horses.
Okay. All right. So specifically for our older horses, it's not ideal. So like your practice across the herd is to first cut.
Yeah.
It's also less on the logistics side to just have the one first cut.
Yeah. And I mean, the second cut is great. I can't knock it. I think for your hard keepers, your thoroughbreds, maybe horses that can't chew the stemmier hay, you know, there's definitely times that you can feed it. We've talked about feeding it to King. It's just not the go-to choice. Okay. For our program. All right.
Awesome. All right. So we've covered everything for grass and for the hay, right? Okay. What else when it comes to summertime operations?
Well, jumping back, I just want to say one last thing about the grass is because we have so much grass and the horses can't eat it, we have to mow it.
Ah, yeah.
That's a big, big part of it. So I'm not the one usually mowing it, but I'm talking to Keith about finding ways to keep us mowed. You know, thankfully, most of the horses that have grass will keep it mowed down, but there's, you know, some bushes that can grow, paddocks that are being rested. They need a little bit of time, but that eventually will need to get mowed. And our weed whacking, you know, along the fence and the pasture, that's always an ongoing project. So that's something I have to keep in the back of my head too, because you'll see, like, there's usually a line. It's like a foot underneath the fence where the horses are, you know, trying to get that grass because it's always greener on the other side.
Yes, always.
So things like that, you know, that over time is going to put stress on our fences when they're trying to lean under it. something to consider. Or for lessons, if they're going out on trails, if we're not super mowed, the horses are grass diving the whole time. So things that we just have to think about, and the big one is ticks. Ticks are a really big problem this time of year, managing that, and that's part of the mowing and keeping it down and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I noticed that we have patches inside the paddocks that get overgrown because the horses don't eat at that. The weeds, I'm guessing, that's what it is.
I think it's weeds. Some of them are a little pickier. If they have like a pea spot, they're not going to eat that.
All right.
But yes, weeds, certain plants. Yeah, it's kind of funny. And the other thing, I don't know if you know this, but the shorter the grass, the more sugar it has.
Okay.
So that's why you'll see oftentimes they're trying to pick the tiniest pieces of grass rather than the big, lush, mouthfuls that they could get anywhere else in their paddock. The shorter stuff actually tastes better, which probably isn't great for them, but,
yeah, you can only do so much. Yeah.
Jinx.
Right. Not like we haven't done this a time or two. All right, so awesome. So it looks like right now we could probably use a good mow around the property.
Yeah.
I know Keith's been doing a great job trying to keep it up. We have 1 or 2 volunteers that kind of help out with it too.
Yeah.
As far as like the mowing piece, if you want to come out and mow, come on out. We've got some work. We just ask that we, orient you to the equipment that we have, so that way there's less repair on our end, and there's familiarization with the equipment. Or if you bring in your own equipment, have fun. Just make sure that you're clear to come on property. Have fun, enjoy it. Some people like to do it. I used to love to mow.
Yeah.
Throw on some headphones, audiobook.
Yeah.
I'd spend 8 hours a day mowing with one of our team members' sons, mowing in tandem. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
All right. So anything else on grass, hay, mowing?
No, I think we covered it.
All right. So anything, what's next that you guys talk about for summer operations?
I think one of the things that is a little bit more obvious is the pest control, the fly control. So when you come here, today's not the best day because it's a little bit rainy and cloudy, so you can't see the fly masks and the fly gear. But one thing we have to control is the pests. They poop, they have manure. It's just how it goes. Poop happens. And so with poop and warm weather, fertilizer creates bugs.
Yes.
So how do we manage that? One thing we do is fly masks. Okay. So flies typically like to go for the eyes, the nose, the ears, for whatever reason. So we put on fly masks. They look like little, aliens sometimes when they have them on. And everyone that comes through that doesn't know what they are, they're like, oh my God, they're blindfolded. But they can see through it. It's mesh. I should have brought
one for this video.
Put it up to the camera. You can see through it. It's mesh, but it just keeps them out of their face. We as people are always going like this, but it's harder for them. And it's just one less thing. They have to manage the rest of their body, so at least their face can be covered, and it's just healthier for them long term.
Okay.
So we do fly masks. We are working towards doing more like fly boots, fly gear for a lot of them, just to help. So, they like to bite at the legs. There's a lot of, there's just the legs aren't, they're an easy target.
Yeah.
Not a lot of meat there, so it's an easy way for flies to get what they want. So we do fly boots for a couple of them. It helps keep their hooves from getting damaged and split.
So like cream.
We've talked about fly boots.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so we might need to revisit the conversation.
Yes, we need draft size for him. Yeah, because the best way that they have learned over time to manage the bugs themselves is to stomp.
Yep.
And that over time, when you're doing this 24/7, eventually your feet are going to take a beating.
Okay.
A lot of them do have shoes, but some of them don't, and sometimes even with shoes, they can still damage their feet. So the boots are just as a protection. Again, if you have little mosquitoes biting your ankles, you're always like annoyed by it. So if you have pants or you have something to protect it, makes you feel better.
Okay.
We have one horse that's in a fly sheet. I'm kind of on the one of those people. I'm not the biggest fan of fly sheets, but I'm getting there. I think it's really hard to ask horses that are already covered in hair to then wear a coat in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
They have tails, they have manes, they have ways to manage. We have sheds. We do a lot of things to help them. So we're working towards fly stuff, but we have one horse that wears a fly sheet. That's Harley.
Yep.
It's actually specifically designed. He has something called sweet itch, which is where he is allergic to fly bites, which is pretty sad to be a horse that is allergic to bugs. So summer is really hard for him, and so his specifically designed sheet is to help not get any bites, not to feel any issue, have any reaction to that. So he looks like a little bit of a ghost when he wears it because it's fully white. He's got the fly mask, he's got the boots. But it's just to keep him comfortable. There's not anything that we can do other than, you know, the allergy medication, the gear. We do some powder on him. It's coat defense that helps kind of soothe the irritation. We do baths for him, but there's nothing we can do to prevent it or to stop it. So we put this fly sheet on him just to help him out, and otherwise he would go bald from scratching and itching.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago during the summer, he was losing like big patches of mane because of it.
Yeah.
I think last year we were able to maintain part of it, like
a
good portion of his mane.
He got better. We did a lot better last year. This year, knock on wood, he's actually doing really well for this time of year. And I think it's been all of the extra things that extra precautions we've taken to help him. Like I said, he's still itchy. Like he's still going to lose part of his mane. Like he's already there, but we're at least just helping him because I can't imagine being itchy all the time. And, you know, you can't ever get rid of it. So. No. He's fine. He's not miserable. Like he's actually doing great, but it's just something you learn.
Something that you have a lot of care and consideration for specifically for him.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've got the flies, and we use fly spray too.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. That's a big one. Fly spray. We do that a lot for lessons. We have things called SWAT, which is kind of like a paste that we can put on them, which is a fly repellent. So sometimes, especially in like May, we get mayflies and they'll kind of bite at their chests or up in their udder area, which is uncomfortable. So we put that up in there just to help them out, or we do Vaseline for them. So we take those precautions as well.
Okay. We might do another video specifically showing you all these little different things maybe next week. All right, as a complimentary video to summertime operations. All right, so you're giving me more ideas, Melissa. Good job. All right, so is there anything else when it comes to insect considerations?
Yeah, I mean, a big one is the pasture management. So we talk about the grass, we talk about rotating, but we also have to keep them clean. So making sure, you know, our paddocks get cleaned every day. Yeah. Our barn staff is amazing. Our volunteers are incredible. So they're out here all the time, you know, scooping that manure, throwing it in the manure pile. Yeah. We do something called fly predators. So they're bugs that we order. Sounds a little bit weird. But you can spread them, you know, in areas that are more infected. So our manure pile, we do it in sheds. We do it in areas that are a little bit more dense. Is that little package that comes in? I'm like, Melissa, what the is this? Yes. Because I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. We have to order more. That's another conversation. Budget again. So we use those, and they release these little bugs that will go after the flies, and they help manage them. That's kind of like the new thing that nowadays everyone's doing, fly predators, because it's just one of the easier ways to manage it. That's a good marketing thing, I guess. Right? Okay. Sell you bugs. All right. So anything else on insect stuff? No, I think we covered it. No, love it. I'm still like off video. I'm still going to be asking you more questions about that, but we'll save that for another time. Again, I really think we want to do the in-depth about what each of them is. So we'll have to order some more of that, and then that way we can kind of go over it. But anyway, okay, moving on. Tangent, I digress. So insects, anything else on insects? Nope. Okay. I've noticed that some horses like Puma have like a pinkish type nose. So is there anything done to kind of help protect some of their skin? Yeah, so typically you see the ones that have pink skin, it's usually the noses underneath is going to be a pink skin under white hair. Okay. So Puma, Mr. Spud gets a little bit of a pink nose, and then I'm pretty sure that's it. Does Cream? Twinkle? No, his nose is, his skin under is black. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't ask me about that. So yeah, I see. Sorry, I'm looking at like Cream. Like I see it. Okay, got it. So I think the difference is Cream. He's fully white, but I'm pretty sure he was black when he was born because his skin is black. Okay. Puma, when he was born, because of the outline on his face, like his pink skin, whether he was black or chestnut or white, there would always be white there.
Okay.
So like he'd have that marking. Like if he were a black horse right now, he'd have a stripe going down his face.
Okay.
Which I think is that difference. Same
Okay.
thing with Spud. Like he's got white on his body, but that white blaze that he has is pink underneath.
I'm thinking of Cha-Ching right now.
Cha-Ching had a pink nose. Exactly. So that skin was pink underneath, which is why it burns easier. The black skin, I guess, makes a difference.
Makes sense.
So that's why. Anyways, so yes, we do manage that.
Okay.
Typically, we'll give them a fly mask that covers their nose, so it also helps bugs not get up in their nostrils, but it acts as a sun barrier. You can get fly masks that have UV protection, and so that will usually help because, like, funny enough, when they're grazing, even though their nose is on the ground, they do get sunburned on their nose. So they get a little pink. We also do baby sunscreen on their nose, which they do not like. Because why are you putting the
smell
thing?
Okay.
I think it's the smell because it's literally right on their nostrils, like on it.
Might be overbearing.
And it's cold. I don't know. So we do that.
Gotta warm it up. Like the butt paste.
Yeah, and they know it's coming, so they usually will walk away. But it's just what you have to do. I mean, I wouldn't want to have to deal with a burnt, nose all the time. So yeah, we all apply our sunscreen. They get sunscreen too on the places that get burnt.
Okay. All right. Anything else when it comes to sun protection?
Nope.
Okay. All right. What else for summertime operations?
So I think the big thing that everyone always asks about is how do you manage the heat? That's kind of like the big pressing thing, because if we're hot, they're hot. They're covered in hair. They're big horses, especially our giraffes who weigh 1,500 pounds. That's a lot of muscle to carry around. So we manage it pretty well. We have sheds. Everyone has access to shelter. That's kind of like the big one is on certain days where it's on a line of like they could come in, they could stay out, they at least have access to a shelter to get out of the elements, to get out of the sun, typically a little bit cooler. Our cutoff is usually 85 to 90 degrees. We'll start turning them inside. Tinder, our Icelandic, lives on a different program because he's not really meant to live in super hot weather, so he gets shaved a couple times a year, kind of like a sheep. But he comes in at 80 degrees and we hose him off because just the thickness of his coat, as much as we shave him, it grows back like a weed. So he comes in at 80, everyone else 85 to 90. They come in, they get hosed off, and we have fans inside for all of them to sit and cool off, stay. Like in the barn, it's a little bit cooler. We have huge fans that are in the barn circulating air and pushing that out. So it's just a little bit cooler for them than being out in the sun when it's blazing and 100 million degrees. So that's one way that we help manage them, just to keep them from overheating. A lot of them are older. And they do fine. But again, like if you're out in the sun, you're gonna be miserable. So they should get to come in. It also is kind of a good check-in just to make sure you're not overheating, you're not you're not breathing heavy. If you are, we're gonna make sure we get you some water, stick you in front of a fan. Like I said, they all have fans in their stalls. So we're just gonna take a little bit more time to check in with that horse and make sure that they're comfortable, because then if they have lessons that day, they're typically unmounted, but we don't want to ever put a horse in a situation where they're not feeling well and have them go to work.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like a little bit more of a check-in with them.
Okay. All right, good. So actually on that note of lessons, right, at what point in time is it, so like, is there a certain real feel or degree, or how do you gauge when a lesson needs to go to unmounted or whenever lessons are canceled altogether?
Yeah, so our heat index, when it hits 95 as a heat index, we will go unmounted. Yep. I will say our team is really good. If we're like at 90, they just kind of go unmounted anyways, if they can.
It's uncomfortable for everybody.
Right. Like imagine going for a hike and you're wearing a backpack that's 20% of your weight up a hill around the path. Like you don't want to do that. So they don't want to either. 95 is like the absolute cutoff. So if we have lessons that maybe can't do unmounted, those are typically canceled. Like I said, around the 90 degree heat index mark, everyone kind of starts thinking about doing more unmounted. And then I believe it's 105 is when we cancel altogether, because people shouldn't be outside. The horses are definitely inside, staying cool. sometimes, I think we had that happen once last year, and we actually switched to like stay in the program room. Let's do some like artwork, painting stuff if you wanted to come in, but everyone had the option to obviously stay home.
So one thing that I've appreciated learning from you guys over the last year or so is, one, for you, kudos to you, because if it gets to a certain temperature, you allow that flexibility for the instructor to be like, hey, yep, I know it's hot. It's 90 degrees out. It'll be your call on whether or not your lesson can be unmounted or mounted. Right. And then depending, because the instructors, they know the horses too. And they know the participants really, really well. Some participants can withstand it a little bit easier than others.
Right.
We have some participants who absolutely take the entire summer off because they just can't tolerate the heat, and that's absolutely fine. And then on top of that, just allowing for that flexibility, and the instructors knowing the kudos to the instructors, the entire program team, knowing the horses well enough to be able to pivot on their lesson plans. Because if it's a super hot day, and ideally we don't want to cancel lessons, right? Because that's a schedule, that's their caregiver's schedule, that's the individual's like expected event, like expected schedule, to where like they're reliant on that, right? And some of our participants, they need that routine.
Yep.
If their routine is disrupted, a lot of things can go sideways. So what the instructors have really done quite beautifully is they'll pivot right there on the spot, be like, okay, you're here for your lesson. Do you want to stay inside where it's nice and cool? Got some lessons prepared for that, or do we want to go ahead and do unmounted with the horse, and kind of allowing for that flexibility? Or they could just make the call like right there the second of and be like, nope, we're gonna go ahead and stay in the program room just because it's hot. So that's good all around. All right, so anything else when it comes to lessons?
Well, one of the fun things about lessons this time of year, when we do get to that unmounted, getting very hot time of day or whatever, is one of the options is to give them a bath. Yeah. Which is really fun. Yeah. Some of them like it a little more than others. We have a few that are still, that's not their favorite. Spud, Harley, Tinder, Nemo, not their favorite activity, which is kind of funny because it's like, aren't you sweating? Like, this should feel good. But some horses actually don't like being wet. Piquet is one of them. Yep. So it's the personalities.
Surprised she's not in her shed. Is she's in her shed?
She might be, yeah. Or she's in a lesson.
Yep.
But that's one of the fun things that people can come and do, give them a bath, get them all soapy and sudsy, they get clean. I think most of them enjoy it. Like I said, Freddie loves baths. Yes. You don't have to convince him. He will do that any day. There's a couple that they just love it, obviously, because it's hot and it feels good. So that's one of the kind of caveats if it gets too hot, is at least you get to come and hose them off. And you get cool, they get cool, and it's something different.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
It's a fun time. I know sometimes like we did another behind the scenes as far as like clips and bath time, and so as part of the summertime operation, so that's good. Yeah. Anything else when it comes to the overall like healthcare maintenance of horses in summertime?
Yeah, I just say, one of the things I'm always thinking of is the hydration part of it. Yep. So they're drinking a lot because it's summer, but they're also sweating that out. So replenishing them with electrolytes. We actually have this thing. It's a brand, Purina, makes what's called Replenimash, which they would die for. They love it. It's kind of a mix of like, there's oats in there, there's carrots in there, electrolytes, salt, and it's blended into this, like, I guess super yummy. I wouldn't know, but they do. They go crazy.
You should ask Leslie if she's tried it, or Jane.
Jane probably has. It's probably really good. It smells really good. And so anyways, we get that for the whole herd. And so when they come in on those super hot days, we put a couple scoops in their water buckets. And by the next day, if they stay in overnight, or even if they stay in just for the daytime, those water buckets are dry by the end of the day. They go crazy because then they drink up all the water. It's flavored. But then they have little goodies at the bottom of the carrots and the oats, and they love it. So that's kind of my favorite go-to, how to keep them hydrated. Okay. Just because I know they just drink 2 whole water buckets. That. We also supplement with electrolytes in their grain. We'll do extra soupy grain this time of year. We soak all their grain anyways. But for the ones that like to drink it like King, he now is on a diet that has a little bit more forage in it because he's getting to a point where he's not able to eat hay as easily as he used to. So we're supplementing, hay stretcher and hay cubes. And so what used to be, he'd get a little bit of grain and we'd fill this entire water bucket full of water, not only for the hydration, but he ate it faster, or drank it faster, I should say.
Yeah.
Now is more like most of the way it's full of that forage stuff. So what we do for him is we'll dump out his grain, and it's like this, huge bucket, and then we'll add in extra water, and he just slurps it up, and he loves it. And that's just more hydration. So that's kind of something I'm always thinking about, is just how to keep them hydrated. Because again, it is hot, and they should drink, but you do have to encourage them to just stay balanced and everything.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And like hydration with colic and stuff like that, and just overall, it's good for you.
Yeah.
I love the replenish idea. I love that.
They love it.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so. I mean, this is a fun time of year. The horses are really happy, other than the bugs. The bugs are always annoying, but I think they're pretty happy this time of year, especially after a tough winter like we just had. So they're all doing well.
Yeah, it was not easy. That's for sure. So, fun question. Do horses like to swim?
Ooh, I don't know. So that's something I'm trying to figure out. We've talked about going to the pond and going swimming. I think so, but it also depends. Like, Picaya doesn't like being wet, so I don't think that's her go-to activity for the summer. Same thing for Harley and Nemo. Freddie, I bet, swims.
Oh, man.
I think he would. I think Tex would. I think King would, although I'm a little afraid King might sink because he's just a little heavy. But they do know how to swim. Somehow they do. You get them in a deep enough pond of water. They do.
Okay. All right. So one of these days we'll have to resource a truck. Still working on that. Because we have a trailer. So we'll resource a truck to where we can start taking the horses off property, not only for programming purposes, but also as that mental reset for some of our horses to go out and go play.
Yeah.
Go play in the water. Like somebody like Freddie, like I can't wait to try, or even Twinkle, like we can get her on a trailer. I don't know how Cream would react to it.
I know.
Let's see.
But we got to find out.
We'll see. So if we can resource a truck, we'll try to figure that out.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anything else for the general audience? Just kind of wrap it up. Is there anything else for the general audience? I think I do want to circle back to do another behind the scenes video that's more specific, that we have some like visual aids through it. That way people can see what it is that we're talking about. But is there anything else for summertime operations for the general audience?
I mean, it's just, you kind of deal with it as you go. Like, there's not a book that you're handed when you get a job like this that says, these are the things you need to consider. Like, I've just learned all of this from trial and error. Like I said, there was nothing that said you need to make sure the fields are mowed and the horses are rotated and the pasture. Like, there's none of that. So this is all just from having gone through it many times now. A lot of it changes as the seasons change. Even in fall, like, we start thinking about changing water buckets and just different considerations for each time of year. So we're doing our best. I think we're doing pretty good.
I would say so. I mean, we did just look over the budget, and technically our equine budget is under.
We're actually
under the forecast.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's why budget keeps popping up, because we started talking about
Talk about it a lot. Yeah.
No. So overall, like, you've done a beautiful job. I know you've been working here for how long?
Oh God, 6 years.
Okay. All right. So, and we'll get into the actual, like, the rest of the meet the team here in a little bit, but You've learned on the fly. You've learned from people like Mariah. You've learned from other horse professionals, equine professionals, right? You're like a sponge, and you just, okay, let's go ahead and try this, between the alfalfa, between the switching up supplements. And what's wonderful about you is that you're willing to take feedback and say, okay, this isn't working, from anybody on the team. This isn't working. You're like, okay, well, let me try to figure it out. First, you always want to test it yourself. And then you get feedback from the team. You validate that feedback one way or another. Be like, okay, maybe try this differently. Do this. And you go out and go research, and you come back and you adapt, right? Nothing is set in stone. I mean, they're horses. Like, life changes. Things change. So it's good. You do a beautiful job at adapting on the fly whenever you need to, and taking that feedback, and you take it with a smile. You might grit your teeth every once in a while, but you do take it with a smile, and you are very wonderful about just kind of working together for a common goal of taking care of the herd, which is good. Yeah, that's about it for summertime operations, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So audience, thank you for your interest. Thank you for your time. If you're curious about any of the other videos that we've referenced, go ahead and look on back. We've got quite a few of them up now as far as like behind the scenes and stuff are concerned. We're going to be doing the rest over the next 6 months for behind the scenes, kind of dive in a little bit more deeper for a couple of different topics. But yeah, anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Take care.